start of the asset management plan. I think we got to have some of that, or most of it done for some of the monies or stuff we're getting. But that's a good portion of it, of inventory of things that's $5,000 or higher.
I got you.
So it's so much of it, I didn't print everybody a copy of it.
Say, you got some high dollar stuff.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
This is everything that's $5,000, right?
Yeah, that's everything in the water plant, distribution, and I'm not sure if there's anything here that needs to be inventory.
Is that fixed assets that you have to keep in the record of?
It was just something Drew sent me and said that we was going to have one of them, and I can't remember exactly now what he said, what for.
If something is taken off here, do you have to tell him to remove it?
He reads the minutes.
He reads the minutes, okay. Because I would think if it was on
And
there.
he can tell, like, when we spend,
Mhm.
to add it to the depreciation.
I
And
got
I
you.
usually tell him before he gets, what all we're doing.
Oh, I got you. He figures depreciation, yes. Somebody put a lot of work in that.
Well, the template was already made, so that helped a lot.
So you didn't have to reinvent the wheel,
No,
you just
no.
filled it in blanks.
That's it.
There you go. That's okay. That's using time wisely. All right, we're gonna call this meeting to order. We have 3 commissioners present. Either of you two want to address the board?
No, sir.
No, sir. Minutes, read and approved.
Well, there was no meeting last.
Yeah, it was not.
And the month before you approve them.
I approved those, okay. Okay, Mr. Christopher Page.
All right, so I'll give you a brief overview of the last 2 months. We installed, well, this last month we put in a total of 6 taps. So 6 of those were down there by Lance's, that 6-plex, which technically only 2 of them have been paid for. But since we were in there, I went ahead and dropped off 6 of them. All 6 buildings are built, and that'd save us time and money. So as he pays for them, all we gotta do is just basically unlock them and turn them on. So technically 4 paid-for taps put in this month.
So where are they at? Out there close to the hydrant somewhere?
Yeah, well, if, no, they're down on the far end of the building,
Okay.
closer to the high school drive on that side. I think they're facing the building. He's got 6 lines plumbed out there, and we just faced them towards the building. He also said, he initially said he's gonna have 3 6-plexes, then it went from a 6-plex to an 8-plex, now it's went just to 2 6-plexes. So while we were had the board there and everything, we run 2 1-inch lines under the road and just put a shut off on the second one. And then when he puts his other 6-plex in, we'll already have the line there to put 6 more meters in. And so it's 150 pound pressure. I think a 1-inch line will carry that, no problem. So we went ahead and did that, set 2 lines there, so we wouldn't have to do 2 road bores. Saves me and him money and time. So we did that. And then the month before that, we put in 5 taps. That month, we fixed 3 leaks over the last 2 months. None of them major leaks, just decent leaks. Worked on the asset management plan that y'all are looking at there. Worked on lead and copper.
How's that going?
It's going okay. We broke the customer's plumbing, digging it up, which is the danger you get into by potholing on their side. But so we busted.
Were you checking to see if it was there?
Do what?
They didn't know what was there. You were checking to see.
Yeah, they were digging into it, and the shovel nicked their line and broke
All
it.
right.
Yeah, so we had to replace it all.
Yeah.
What was it?
Huh?
Was
It was
it
PVC. Yeah.
So all that for,
Yeah. Yeah, and so we've not encountered any lead on the customer. We haven't even done. We have not encountered any on the customer side either. So anyway, just cleaned up jobs. We had a tree fall at the county line, which we cleaned up, and then a second tree fell. Both of them fell against the legs of the line.
Yeah.
So we cleaned the second one up, but it wasn't the guy that's here today for the pre-construction meeting said he needs 20 foot.
So you don't have to go back.
Yeah, we got enough to go around with a mower, which is 5 to 6 foot, and now it needs to be pushed back. And there's a big tree in the way, so I actually contacted Charlie Williams today, the tree guy, because these guys are moving. They want to get in there and get done and out of the way. So he's gonna go in there and see about moving the tree and getting 20 foot back, in there and trimming it up high too, because they're coming from the top of the tank all the way down 20 foot around for a containment barrier. So even if we could get the bottom part 20 foot back, there's trees hanging.
You need
a bucket truck.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's supposed to meet me at 8:30 in the morning, to look at the job, see, what he can do.
Is it all part of the bid, or is it extra?
That's extra.
It's
Yeah.
not telling what it's gonna cost.
Yeah, it
It's
ain't.
not telling.
Yeah. So,
Okay.
Just can't have things extra.
I mean, one of the trees is down, it's probably 3 foot around. And I had thought about trying, I don't think I could push it with my backhoe.
Did
Get it
they
out
look
of
at
the way.
the site before they bid on it? So they didn't catch it?
One person come up there that I went up there with and took pictures of the site, and they were out of Alabama, so it
It wasn't this guy.
wasn't this guy, no.
So they didn't go up there and look at it or
No,
anything.
no, they did. And also, the road going up there is really muddy, so I'm taking gravel and putting on there to try to, because they got semi.
Pretty narrow too.
Yeah, it is, especially when you get up, and I don't know exactly how wide the right of way is. I don't know how much around the tank we own, so that's why I kind of wanted Charlie to come in there and take it out. Because if I pushed it over, I might push it over on somebody, and then you're in trouble there. So, so anyway, I'll see about that tomorrow. And for anybody else that y'all know does that kind of work, but like I say, I need it quickly done.
He's the only one out there that used.
Charlie. Of course, we started mowing, those sorts of things. Working on GIS, and I'm trying to get it done with GPS, changing a few meters out here and there, yard cleanups, and those sorts of things. We have had several taps these last couple months, which is good. It's good for us.
Absolutely.
Absolutely for us. That's kind of the overview. We had recently we had a fuse to blow in our hot water skid at our water plant. And of course it was 3 o'clock in the evening, there's nowhere to get one of them 80 amp fuses. So we had to rob one out of skid A to put in here just so we could clean skid B. Without that fuse, we couldn't do nothing. So we did that. Johnny got us some more. And I told him, I said, get me some spares.
Yeah.
So these little busted fuses about that, like that, and it was actually 4 total. It was blown in 1 unit. We had the actual water plant single phase. I don't know if that did it or what, but they're expensive. But I told him, I said, we need some spares because it's a shame when one fuse goes out, you're completely down. So I got him to do that, and we had a bunch of lights go out in the plant, which is just kind of a continual thing. Every time they go out, I just tell them to change them to LEDs. We put them in there, get the ballast out of the way, and put an LED.
That's right.
So they're almost completely changed now. So
You don't know what caused the fuse to blow?
I think
It's weak fuse?
I think there was an osprey had dropped some sticks on a line down below us, and it killed the power in the plant, but it didn't kill it completely, and it's single phase.
It cut it back.
I think it may have messed it up. I don't know. But that's just the only thing I can
Well, they
think
will
of.
drop a huge stick.
They would, yeah. And so seeing.
Build it an nest around there somewhere.
Yeah, well, they're trying to build a nest there. And so there's an owl on top of that hole now.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh my goodness.
So that's kind of the last couple months of work.
And you got a fire hydrant in out on Highway
Yes, got a
120?
fire hydrant there at Dean's.
Donated by Mr. Eli.
Yes, it went in really good, and everything worked well. We took all the dirt out of there and filled it completely with gravel in case, the trucks pulling on top of it or whatever, it wouldn't sink in. And so all that's completely filled with 57. So we took it off the road a bit so that somebody wouldn't come flying off the road and hit it.
One of the neighbors across the road's got a pool going on how long it stays there before somebody runs over it.
I hope not.
That's what I said. Shut your mouth, baby.
Now,
That was Pat.
okay.
Pat.
The second one we got is over at Big Rock Road 120. I got all the paperwork done up for it, it's in the state. I put it out exactly, other than the location, exact same thing. Well, they kicked it back, and there were some things they didn't like. They accepted the first one, but they didn't like the second one. So the second one, and it was what it was just reviewed by somebody else and seen something they didn't like. But the engineer, Drew, sent me on the tube, he sent me flow charts. This is what it'll flow. And, but it didn't have a seal, his personal, professional seal on it. So the second person who interviewed said, I need a seal on that. So he did that, so that's probably gonna cost us a little money because he put his professional seal on it. He told me. But, and then there was something else, I done got that squared away, but hopefully before too long, that one will get approved and we can put that one in for them.
What about your pumps and motors and everything down there? You got everything back in the pumping? You had sent some stuff off.
Oh, yes, down there at the Supernate pumps, no, they're not back.
They're not back.
We're just scratching
No
the
work.
gravity feed. I don't know how long it's gonna take to get them things
Oh,
back.
wow.
Yeah. I'm just thankful that they will gravity feed.
Yeah.
At least, I mean, the pond's high, but it's not overflowing. I mean, it's getting up to a certain point and it's just drizzling out into the spray field. So I'm thankful that it's at least doing that, keeping it at a certain.
They may charge us rent on keeping them there in their
They
spot. They've been there for a while.
Maybe we need to charge them something.
I agree. I agree. All
Oh,
right.
and I don't know, I know the last time we talked about a rate schedule. I had a few things I wanted to change on the rate schedule. I got this is what I've made up.
For size,
What we changed, let me think, it's been so long since we go. Since I have, What I put on there was the backhoe, because we didn't have a rate that we would charge for backhoe, use, installation costs included. So we got the backhoe at $125 an hour for a 4-hour minimum. And that seems to be the going rate for anybody I've talked to. I mean, there was some that was higher, but this was kind of the going rate. And then I added a labor rate on there too. It's like if we get anything over a 3/4 meter, we got to figure backhoe, labor rate, parts, everything. So I put the labor at $75 an hour, because that typically will be 3 people. And then 125 for the backhoe, minimum 4 hours, which is not too far out. Most time we do a tap, we're going to be gone for 3 to 4 hours anyway, at least. And then also in the meter, the sizes, when you see 3/4, 1 inch, there used to be an 1.5 inch meter in there. We don't have any 1.5 inch meters, and we don't have an 1.5 inch pipe. We don't fool with it, so I just took that option out of there. So we can put it back in if we want it in there, but like I said,
You have meters this big on that?
we have up to 4-inch meters, not for customers
Right,
per se, but most of the customers will be 2-inch. It's the biggest we've got. So it's not a whole lot of changes other than, like I said, I just added that installation for the backhoe and the labor and took off the 1.5 inch meter out of there. Other than that, pretty much everything's the same.
So is this what you're gonna mail? I'm sorry.
No, I was gonna say, on like, if somebody wanted a 3-inch meter, 3,500 plus installation costs, what would we tell the customer if they said, well, how much is the installation cost?
You have to call and get all the parts and write that up and give them a bill, basically, see if they want to pay it.
So it would be whatever the backhoe costs and the parts and the labor.
Yeah.
But the labor's gonna change all the time, every year.
Yeah.
I don't think I put the labor on
You're
there.
already looking at 500 just for the backhoe, you know?
Yeah.
And it's quarter where you have to dig, it could be longer than that, you know?
You probably said at the beginning, but are these going rates with other utilities? Is that just?
On the meters,
Yes.
I'm not sure about the meters. Like I say, on the backhoe labor, I mean, on backhoe cost, I just called around 3 or 4 different people who had backhoes and asked them what they charged. I mean, there were some charged $200 an hour, but most of them charged $125, $150 an hour.
What was you gonna say?
That came from Neil. Remember years ago when we changed it? We we didn't have but anything but a one tap fee on there.
I got you, I
And
did.
then
I did
remember, he
find-
said development was gonna come, and we needed something, and y'all voted that in.
So are those all still good with inflation?
Um,
I mean, that's several years old. Or
Yeah.
actually, it was only from, is this, it says, still says 2022, so is that when that was?
That's the rates, the billing rates.
Current,
yeah.
okay, it's current,
And let me add too on that, right underneath the meter sizes, it said, there's a statement there that says the size of the water meter will be determined by NSUD. That's something was added as well, because we had this issue with the person wanting a 1-inch meter down here, and they already had a 3/4 meter, it was fed it fine, and all they had was bathrooms in the building, and a water fountain, I think he said, but he said he wanted a 1-inch meter. And so we had to go, I mean, well, they paid for it, you know, no issue there, but a 3/4 meter would have done no problem, you know. And sometimes you find these, like if he's got a 1-inch meter there and all he does is run a bathroom on it, you may lose more, you may lose a little bit more water than you would through a 3/4 because low flow, 3/4 pick up low flow a little bit easier. So I just added that statement in there. I talked to Drew about it, and he said, you know, when you get into that situation, this issue was actually designed and engineered. He said, tell the engineer to send you a flow calculation of what they need, and then you can base it on that. So that's just something else I put in there for us to have.
It's something we need to vote on.
It's just a different, it's a change in policy there.
I was gonna say, and then we probably need to vote on it, but, you know, y'all do what you want to do. You may not be ready to do that tonight, because you're just saying.
Yeah, you're welcome to the next board meeting, it's something to look at.
What would we do about the one household per water meter? Because you know that's all over the county.
Yeah.
Do we just not worry about that?
You know, it's one of the things, if you know about it, you're supposed to make them put another meter in.
I'm saying, me and Miss Jenny dealt with one just a couple of weeks ago.
I know there's some in the system that were there before.
Grandfather.
Grandfather in.
That's right.
I don't know what else I can learn between now and next month.
Right.
So I'll make a motion, if you think this is what we need to do.
Yeah, I think so, yeah. I mean, nobody's ever given me any flack over it as far as that, because, you know, it's.
I was gonna say, most everything you do is a 3/4 meter anyway.
Yeah, right. I just wanted something in there for the customer when they, so they can understand what installation cost is, because it wasn't in there before.
I'll second.
Okay, Jenny, we have a motion and a second to approve.
Never have changed it.
You want me to send it to you, email it?
I'll have to find it. I'll
Okay.
find
Is that,
We
I
have
had a
one.
question on the date, just a minor question. So this is what's going to be mailed out, starting in
It's not gonna be
2020? Oh, okay.
it. This is what we give customers.
When they come
come in
in.
here and start service, they get that. That's why I didn't know about
So
the rate of
it'll be effective
pay,
right now.
because
That's the current rate,
Okay.
the rate of pay is gonna change every year, so you're gonna have to change it
Well,
every year.
And you know,
Okay.
the November 1st, 2022 will probably change also.
Every year. But see, everything on there, you'll see, like, well, on mine, it's got the dates that these things were changed, okay? Like connection fee, when we changed that to, the renter to $100, it has the date on there we changed it. This is the effective rates for just the customers, the November 122. But then everything else has got, like, y'all approved this, setting these water meters 5, 16, 14, so some of y'all may not have been here, okay?
Oh, that's,
14 is when all these rates were approved, okay? So anytime we change anything, I put the effective date on it. Service call was 1/9/1/2010. We don't charge $20 for somebody else for a service call,
Yeah.
okay?
So are there any changes we need to make to this?
he wants the changes he just brought out to y'all.
Yeah, and that's it.
If I could look into the one through 8 inch and see what's the going rate is now, I'm not sure as far as that goes. But like when I get with him,
Withdraw the motion until he fixes it. Can we do that?
You can do that, sir. You won't withdraw?
I'll withdraw my second.
Okay. Yeah,
I'll look
I guess-
into it.
Yeah, research.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Sorry.
Their motion is second and then withdraw, ma'am. Well, can you put that on old business so we can, relook at that next month, please? Okay, Mr. Christopher.
Now here's, you talking about tap costs, here's this. And this is just something I just thought I might want to look at. Tap costs, this is just a 3/4 inch tap. All right, so if you do,
Oh,
you
wow.
say 2, 4, 6, 8, and 12, that's basically the only ones we do on that. So the number in red is what parts only is. And you can see down at the bottom, if we do a straight bore, it's at least $400, maybe a little bit more. I mean,
Less than that, it's usually got 380.
380,
Yeah.
okay, so 400, so if we do a straight bore, add $400 to every one of them, our tap fee's $1,500. So, you know, if we do a bore, then we're getting close. If we had to do a directional bore, we automatically lose. A directional bore on a 4-lane highway up here is $1,550.
Okay. Define directional board.
Well, they can set up on one side of the road and they can go down, they can flatten, and they can come back up and pop
Okay,
up.
okay.
And that's what you need on the highway
Sure.
because it's such a long stretch across. And if it's a 2-lane, it's $1,250. If it's a 4-lane, it's $1,500. Which now, granted, you know, most of them up now through here is on the same side, but we have had to do some bores. So any directional bore we do on 3/4 tap, we're automatically gone. We automatically lose money.
Is that who you get G&Z coming?
No, I get another guy out of Kentucky to do that. I mean, Paris.
Oh, Paris,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. And he's the same guy that did our 100 Bill Walker Bridge as well.
Mm.
Yeah. And I'm not proposing we do anything, I just thought you might like to know the
Yeah,
information.
that's good to
You
know.
know, we do a 12-inch tap, we're $1,069, but if we have to do a straight bore. Only reason got me thinking about it is that talking to Woodlawn, they get $2,000 for a tap.
Okay.
And so I thought I'd just look at.
They're probably standing in line to get taps up there, as much building as they got going on
I'd say so.
in that area.
So anyway, that's just, like I said, that's just for y'all's information.
Looking at this, you want to talk about Kurt while we're talking to you?
Yes.
All right. So Kurt's retiring.
He said he was gonna leave 1st of September, I think I told y'all that. He's also, just recently found out he's got another blood clot in his hip, so be thinking about him on that.
Wow.
His leg got to hurt him again, and he went and found out.
Other side?
Other side.
Oh, man.
Yeah. So anyway, and he did say, he said September if I make it that long. So, and even if he doesn't, I mean, we need to make a change.
Well, we'll talk.
Well, I would like to go ahead and hire a full-time employee to get trained up between now and September, if Kurt makes it that long, so we can go ahead and have him trained and not be kind of short-handed while we're training, if that makes any sense. Have an extra hand for a few months until he retires, and then what I want to do is I'm gonna put Isaac. Isaac pretty much runs the water plant anyway, and he's going to be there 40 hours a week. He'll be there at the water plant exclusively. And it'll leave the weekends for the next person to come on to make up the Saturday and Sunday. And so that'll put, with a full-time employee, even at that, if we can ever figure out how to work it where we can kill it on Sunday bill. But right now, the way it's running, we have to run 8 hours Saturday, Sunday, and that'll leave me short 2 days a week out here, which is where I'm at right now anyway, because Isaac's at the water plant Friday every week, and then one of the boys takes off every Monday because they work Saturday. They alternate that Saturday. So I'm short a guy in distribution 2 days a week anyway, so that's kind of where I'm at there on that. That's why I like to have a full-time employee.
So Kurt stays in the water plant all the time.
He does.
He'll come out.
Yeah, he's not I don't think he's physically fit to work in distribution.
Yeah.
We still, like I said, with that lead and copper, we still got a lot of lead and coppers that need to be taken care of. We got meter changes, I don't know.
What happens when one of them takes vacation or sick time? What do you do now?
Well, we just work around it. I mean, we're just, well, and Isaac, of course, his child's gonna have surgery for him, so he's gonna be out at least a week, in Vanderbilt with that. So we'll just, Kurt can't work or something happens, he has to go to surgery, we'll just have to put me and Jesse down at the water plant and make up the time. It's all, just shift people around to make it work. That's what all we can do. And like I said, the meter changes, I don't know how many meters we got, it's over a million, but.
You and Jesse and Isaac, Kurt's the only one right now that can work in the water plant.
That's right. And Jesse's not certified, but he can work there because we have a standard operating procedure on him. And he's a good operator, he knows what to do.
Is he going to pursue getting his
Yes, yeah.
certification at some point?
They both went to get their distribution test this last week. Isaac got past his, but Jesse fell short a couple of points. So he'll have to take it again, which, I wouldn't be discouraged by that the first time I took my water treatment, I failed to take it. It's a difficult test, and especially the tests they're giving now. TAUD used to really do a great job in helping you, but they've changed the test so much that there's things on there that they don't even train people for or teach people to do. So I believe he made us like 68 or 69. He just barely missed it, so I think he'll get it next time. And so anyway, so Isaac got his. So Isaac certified grade 3, grade 1 distribution, and backflow prevention. So he's kind of set unless the water plant ever goes to a grade 4, which it may once we get to the basins, the 7 basins, and it may bump it up to a grade 4, which means you'll have to go get a license, which I have my grade 4 license. So I can still cover the plant license-wise. Like I say, I don't know how many meters we got that's over 1 million gallons or over 10 years old. A bunch. They need to be gone through. That's just going to be kind of a rolling project. We already got meters out here on the highway where they come through with the new highway. Those meters have over 1 million gallons on them already. It don't necessarily mean they're bad. It don't mean they're losing gallons, but water meters are cash registers in the ground.
That's right.
And so, I know we got some meters in the ground that's at least 20 years old. Some of them got 2+ million gallon on them. They need to be changed, And a lot of times it's a one-man job, but a lot of times it's a two-man job too. It just depends on what you get into.
All right, discussion.
What is our labor force compared to other districts our size? Does anybody have any idea?
I really don't know what to tell you on that. Like even if we compare to Dover, they got so much more that they do. They have a lot more people in the field, but they have a lot more like keeping up with the streets and they have wastewater and stuff like that, So I don't really know how to compare one from another.
I would like to, I would like to just wait and just kind of see. Because like you said, just the way things are now, it's almost at that state anyway. And if we're going to have upgrades to the plant, if that's going to increase the efficiency, I would hate to think we would then have to lay somebody off or think about laying somebody off. If we could reduce our workforce when we get these roads and everything like we want, and I'm assuming that'll be hopefully wrapped up maybe about within a year or a year from now. But I would just like to wait and see if you can work the schedules and just see how it works out. And I'm just throwing ideas out here. For the weekends, is it possible to open up the valves from Trigg County and Woodlawn to reduce the amount of water we have to produce on weekends and reduce the labor cost? I would just like to look at things like that.
You're not going to gain anything, I don't think, by bringing it in from Woodlawn. They're awful expensive. Barclay's a lot cheaper than Woodlawn by quite a bit, or at least the last we bought, I guess they're
It's,
still
it's
that way.
like 3 times less.
Yeah, I know that one time they were at 5-something thousand, wasn't there, more, like less than $2 a thousand on Woodlawn, I mean, Barkley. But, yeah, cause I even looked into maybe letting them float us while we had the tank down, but it was gonna cost a lot to purchase the amount of water that we sell from here to there. It was gonna cost like several $1,000 a month.
From Woodlawn.
From Woodlawn, yes. So, I mean, we can open up Woodlawn, I mean, Barkley, I'm sorry, keep getting mixed up. We can open up Barkley and bring it up to my dad's, I don't know where my dad's is, but Mount Dean store and Dallas Wallace over on Bumpus Mills Road is about the reach of it that would help. I don't know efficient wise, if that's a good thing or if it's good or bad, I just don't know.
That's what I would like to just try. Think about it and just maybe hold off on right now, just hiring a full-time permanent employee and just kind of see how things work out over the next. I'm not saying that is the final solution. I think it's worth just seeing if we can do it.
Well, just one thing I would say, what you just said is that the plant's not going to produce any more or any less when we get the basins.
They'll just make the water quality better.
Yeah, what we're pumping out now will be the same as far as volume. It'll just make the water quality better.
Use less chemicals, less stress on the filters and all that.
Yeah. Do
Well, that does some.
It should lessen the cleaning chemicals on now that everything else is going to be about the same. Well, I take that back, but coagulant actually may be a little less because we overfeed coagulant now to help the filters. So the coagulant might be less, and undoubtedly the bleach and the caustic and the citric that we use to clean it should be less. The cleaning should space out a lot more with cleaner water. But I mean, like I say, I'm not arguing, so don't think I'm arguing with anybody. But we need. I could use a person even Kurt was retired. I mean, I could use a full-time person, and I could keep them busy.
Yeah, and from my side, I don't believe in slave labor either.
Yeah.
I want everybody, my job, to have a wonderful job and quality of life. That's a goal of mine for all of you too. I would just like to take a look and delay hiring full-time right now, especially now because we have to absorb the full-time cost all the way up. I know what you want to do, so you can get them trained up. But anyway, that's my proposal. Just hold off and wait a little bit longer to kind of see.
I got another question. I actually had an operator contact me about a job. He's grade 3 water, grade 1 distribution, and backflow certified. He's looking for a job. He's currently working, but he wants to be closer to home. And he asked me, he said, what would that pay? I said, I don't know, because I can tell you what it would start off if you're not experienced. He said, but I don't know what they would be willing to pay for an experienced operator. And so that's something I would ask, too, if we could hire a full-time. I mean, he's not going to work part-time. I mean, he wants to be close to home, but he also needs full-time.
He needs full-time.
And the money. But if we all hired him, what would we be willing to pay for, just something to think about, what would we be willing to pay for somebody that's already certified?
Yeah.
Tell you money.
Yeah.
What
Well,
is
say
it
you can-
now?
I don't know.
Where
I just
does
know
he
he's,
live here?
I know he's in Clarksville. That's where he's working.
Yeah, it's tough for us to keep up, as it is with the employees we have, to keep up with competitive pay scales of other utilities. And so anyway, that's my thought process of just kind of waiting and seeing if we can make it work without turning on the slave labor, because I don't want to do that either.
Chester.
I totally see Chuck's point. I do. And I see Christopher's point. Would somebody that replaces it speed up some of the projects that we need to get done?
I think so, yeah.
So you think somebody that takes Kurt's place will,
Well,
it will make, I'm not saying y'all don't work, but
Yeah.
will speed up getting some of these things done?
well, yes, because there's not too many days that go by that I don't have to send somebody to work plant anyway to do some stuff, whether there's something going wrong or, it's an arm going off or whatever it may be, to fix it. You know what I'm saying? I'm kind of hesitant to say a whole lot, but that process would speed up things. And also if in times, I can't count on this, but in times of if we have something going on and that day the water plant fills up, I can bring Isaac out of the plant into the system and let him work with us. Maybe either let him, if it looks like he can work a half a day, whether it be morning or evening, and still keep everything topped off, then I can do that. So I've kind of counted on that as well to be able to draw even further labor in the field to be able to get him away from there and help me in the field.
What if you had somebody else down there, but, I mean, if it wasn't Isaac's day in the plant, if you had a new person down there, say, I wouldn't want to hire anybody at any point that we could cross-train to do
Yes.
whatever, but,
Right,
if the plant was, if the tanks were full, that you could bring them out and, even if they could direct traffic around while you were
That's right.
digging up a unsafe spot, right?
Right, yeah, and when we get into a road that's in a bad curve or something, it's a minimum of 4 people. I mean, and really sometimes you need 5, because with a minimum of 4, you got 2 flagging, you got 1 in the ditch and 1 on the back of it. And then, if you need parts, then either I'm getting out of the back or the guy's getting out of the ditch, running, getting the parts and bringing them back or whatever. So it helps to have 5 people.
We used to get the law to come do that.
Yeah, yeah,
We paid them $20 an hour, wasn't it?
I think so, yeah.
Are you the only one who uses that?
No, Isaac can. I've tried to train Jesse on it some. He just doesn't seem to cotton to it, I guess, to say, but Isaac can run it, and Ricky can run it as well. Mainly I do.
Anything else?
No, what's your opinion?
Like you, I see both sides of it. I don't want to box ourselves out if we've got somebody that we know is good, that we can train to do the job, or it sounds like whoever you're talking about may already be trained to do the job. But I understand what Chuck's saying too. We don't want to overkill. If you're carrying somebody down the plant, sometimes, anyway, obviously something's being let go to go tend to that situation.
Right.
How what's being let go,
Well-
Could Kurt change his mind?
It's very possible. I mean, there's nothing.
I was going to say that if I have a concern, that's it.
Yeah.
We hired somebody and he said, "Oh, I'm not going to leave."
It's 4 months away. And I'm not saying no, but I think I need to think on it. Just for a few days.
I would, I understand. Is there any way we can get something in writing from him?
Yeah, I'll approach him about that.
Okay. It would help if we knew that. I was going to say, what? I guess even if he signed it, he could still change his mind.
Yeah.
I would hate for somebody to come in and leave a job or come in with hire and then Kurt changes his mind.
Yeah.
Well, we just need,
Well-
we'd have to make up our mind who we want it worse.
Well, that's true.
I got you. We're just going to leave that on hold for the time being.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else for Mr. Christopher?
I think that's it.
All right. Well, I guess while we're talking, we can talk about the county line tank, because you was here with the construction crew today, and I think the pre-construction meeting, from what Ms. Jenny said, went good this morning. So maybe y'all can fill us in on what's fixing to take place.
Seemed like the fellow was very eager to get started, or at least the crews that he has are eager to get started. I'm gonna actually drain the tank tomorrow. Yeah, and they're already got equipment being pulled in. They're gonna get inside the tank first and get all that stuff cut out and the new stuff put in. Safety matters. You talked about all the like structural stuff where you have to cut out and re-weld and all that. They're gonna do that first, sandblast it, bring it down, and then paint it. And then he said, asked me how many hours did they want them to work, or what my hours was. I said 7 to 3:30, and he asked, he said, do you want me to work those hours? I don't care how many hours you work. And he said, well, they're going to work as long as they can.
It's money ahead to them. They work
Yeah. So
as much as they can.
So
And I want them to.
When he said 7:30, I said things start at 6.
yeah, they lie as far as I'm concerned, but yeah, they are going to. Sound like they're eager to get started, and they're going to get in and get out. So I'm encouraged by it so far.
Did he say how long he thought it would take?
No, I can't even remember what the
July
paper said.
29th was the end
Yeah,
date.
July 29th is the end.
And
But-
600 per day if they don't get it finished by then. That's in the contract,
Yeah.
wasn't it?
Oh, I feel certain they'll.
Oh.
If there's anything much done, they'll get done by then. That can get expensive.
August. They said the only thing that hinder them is the weather delays.
Mhm.
But he impressed me.
Yeah, he seemed like a knowledgeable guy.
Mhm.
Yeah, sure did.
Very impressive.
And he gave the name of the foreman that was going to be here, but I can't remember his name.
Cornelius or something like
It was
that?
something
Was that right?
different. Yeah. But I think they'll do good. It seems like they're doing really well.
And on that end, do you need to bag any hydrants on that end?
Probably will do the one at the dollar store. Because if they open it up, these pumps sure ain't gonna handle
Yeah,
that.
that's fine.
And we did paint that hydrant black at the vet down here.
Mhm.
So it's good to go.
That's going to be the private joke amongst them.
All right, well, while we're talking about the tank, we got one little item of new business to throw in there. That was the lettering on the tank that was left off. And we first said that we probably wasn't going to do it. As I'm driving around everywhere, I don't see any tanks that don't have a name wrote on it anywhere.
What good is it?
Well, it's no good. You don't have to have it there. It's going to be. He first said $5,000, and of course I said, there's no way that we won't spend $5,000 on that. It was a little less than that, but anyway, that's up to y'all whether y'all want the name wrote on the side of the tank or not. It was $34.40.
And they want district instead of DIST period. Ricky and Drew thought that would look better if we put district on there. And the way that guy talked, he wouldn't charge us anymore for
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
But who knows? He said he wouldn't. And then Drew said, well, we had $5,000 in the budget. He said, so do you want me to charge you $1,600 more to me? I'm like, So,
What is the benefit?
Oh, there is no benefit.
None at all.
No.
I
Other
was going to
than,
see if he can say, hey, call North Star.
yeah, other than Long North Street Utility District, not Woodlawn and not Dover.
Yeah.
Well, I guess it'd be okay, but in the situation we are with all this coming up, I'm going to say let's save the 35
All right.
I agree.
All right. Ms. Jenny?
okay, I'll let Drew know. I'll let Drew know.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. All right. Moving on. I guess, Jenny, I guess the big thing is the grant came through. So remind us how much that was for North Stewart is 1.6 something.
Yeah.
So where was that going to leave us on our project?
Well, we don't know because we hadn't got bids.
Oh, okay.
And they didn't say anything today about that. So it's nothing been done for rural development.
I can't remember. That's the number that we thought we were going to get, right?
So So we'll just have to wait till we get finished and do bids and see what we lack or what. Because
We have no idea, do
we
we?
have no idea what they're.
So our part is 1.6 million of that. And then what did we have prior to that?
2 million?
2,000,006, was it 2 million? It was 2 million.
It was a little less than 3 million, and then we had some grant. Was that included grant?
With the grant.
With the grant, like 2 point.
I can go look exactly. Let me go look exactly. I can't think of it right now. Let's see.
It'd be nice to get some bids going on that, so we
Yeah,
really know, we can't do anything.
We need to get that moving. That is drug on too long.
1,975,000 and then $375,000 grant.
1 million.
975, so almost 2 million.
And then how much grant?
375.
375 grant. That's what we already had, and then this 1.6 something on top of that. So right now, we're waiting on
Rural development?
rural development to say yes or no, or,
Yeah.
so did they.
So once
eventually
they
do that?
approve this, his drawings and stuff, then we will have a bid. He will advertise for bids for all 3 projects. And then we will have the bid opening, and then you'll find out if we can afford it or if we can't. I mean, that's the way I look at it.
So
Which
so
ones
we're-
you're gonna do and which ones you're not, because the way I understand from George, from Rural Development, if you decide that you can't do, you don't wanna do one, we can just pick which project. You know, if, say, you know you wanna do the basins, that's a critical.
Yeah, that's correct.
So if you wanna do that, say if it's way over, even what the county's gonna give, then you don't have to do all 3 projects,
Okay.
okay? That's the way he told
So we
me.
got roughly $3 million, including our part and this grant, which the grant's a great thing.
Mhm.
That all worked out just really well.
And if we need more money in through rural development, we will get grants, we'll get more grant money, but the interest rate will be more. Because we're getting 1.5, it's locked in, 1.5% interest.
Yeah, we got that at a really good
When
time.
he come by, it was like 3, and it's went up. So you can do that too, if you decided to say you didn't have enough,
But
you needed to.
the extra would be at the high rate, it wouldn't all go in.
It would be the extra money you'd have to borrow from rural development. Say the project was 5 million and we need to borrow that extra money. We get more grant,
Did you ever figure what the payment was on what we had?
about 5,000. That's why I want to get that other payment knocked out.
Yeah, I got you.
But we keep having to spend money.
I'm just saying, we just keep having to, but we gotta do
I
it.
know it.
We gotta
So, what we would, if that happened and we were, say we were over $500,000 and y'all want to do all 3 projects. Part of that $500,000 would be from, you would get grant, more grant than you got at the beginning.
More than 3
Because you're
cents.
in need of it. And then you would have another interest rate, which would be whatever the interest rate, and it was 3%.
Well, I'm sure it's higher than that. now.
Yes. And so you'd have, just like before, when we did the water treatment plant, we didn't borrow enough money, so that's why we got the $12,000 payment and then the other payment. And it's at different interest rates. So that's how this would be. But if you decide you only want to do 1 project or 2 projects, you could change it, the way George told me. So really, we're just waiting on
We're
bids.
just waiting on hurry up and wait, like we've been for how long now?
They haven't had any.
3 years?
Yeah.
That's why I couldn't remember.
Jerry,
I mean,
Ricky didn't have any update when they came,
Mhm.
they didn't address it.
That is so frustrating.
Over the years.
You sitting here with this money ready to go and all this time.
And we're getting calls galore because that's been told about the grant money, us getting the money. So of course, we're getting calls wanting roads done. And I'm telling them, we've been obligated to money to the original projects we had.
Well, we've got to take care of these three projects, before we can do anything
That's what I told
because of rural development.
Mhm, that's what I told them. We were
Is that what we told
obligated
them
to
we were
that.
gonna do?
Mhm.
All right, we'll move as quick as we can. All right, I hate that answer. Hurry up, what? All right, Christopher, looks like the water loss is pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah, he went up. I mean,
Yeah, they went up.
needs to go down.
All right, I got you. All right. Anything else?
Just that was approved and the budget was approved through.
Oh,
we
the
didn't
comptroller approval letter.
Mhm.
We got that all done and taken care of, and they were good with it. And they got a copy of that. See, that was a month ago, wasn't it? It was the day we had them. The day I was here, y'all wasn't. All right. Anything else? All right. Y'all need us, you know, before we ready.
Meeting adjourned?
Meeting adjourned, Mr. Jim. All right. Have the air conditioner fixed.
I will.
Please.
Yeah, I'll contact tomorrow. I thought it turned down to 65. Let's see what